came to Rivendell and it was just like, boom, there's this explosion of all these different types of Christians and all these different views.
When I came to Rivendell, not only did they help me to answer my questions, but they also posed other ones.
I believed in God, but I had my doubts, and since coming here I've become a lot more confident, both emotionally and spiritually.
It's been really challenging these past 16 months. It definitely hasn't been easy, but looking back on it a lot, I've seen just how much God has been doing. Like every step of the way, He planned out every little thing.
There was this one time when I was mapping.
Right, this way.
Sam and Drew, Jordan, and Colin all walked in, turned on the lights, surrounded me, and were like,
You only have to do the first step of the map. Look back away, man. Okay, bro.
I was in complete disbelief for like 30 seconds, and then I was just like,
You know how long I've been working on this?
freaked out for a good 5 or 6 minutes there while they laughed at me and recorded the entire thing.
Are you joking with me? I'm not kidding you right now. You can stop now.
It was pretty hilarious.
I never had to do that. Been working all day on it.
It's really not that funny.
All freaking afternoon.
Now that I look back at it, it wasn't funny at the time.
You have your struggles, you have your conflict. And living with a roommate, things can get irritating, just the way they talk or the way they hum or something. Stuff starts to crawl on your skin after a while, and you have to learn. You have to learn to love when you're in a family. You have to learn to be patient.
Now our classes come together like we've never seen.
Some of the biggest areas of growth for me, one was especially in theology. Even though it's the academic, theological side of God, it really changed my relationship with God and made me a lot closer with Him.
Rivendell's shown me that it's possible to have community and a great learning experience while tying it back to God. I've gone from this passive Christian that just, is bitter and is like, why does God let us suffer evil, into this, transitioning through all of Rivendell, going to like, this is how it works and God loves us.
The biggest change is just me thinking more critically and learning to really analyze and examine everything I do to see if it is the way, I should be doing things, or if it is honoring the Lord.
If I hadn't come here, I couldn't imagine how hard it would have been to be anywhere else. I talk more, I have a better attitude for sure.
I loved psychology, just went crazy for it. Learning about myself was really interesting, just because that's one of the things that everybody's blind to is themselves, and I'm no exception. So it was really helpful, just kind of focusing who I am and what God made me to be.
We canoe out to this island and go exploring.
The first thing is, he almost tips the boat, with me in the back. Well, he gets out, and I'm like, it was a deer trail, and it's an island. I didn't really understand.
Deer trail
that.
on an island, bro. What he doesn't realize is that this deer trail is not a deer trail, it is in fact a goose trail. I'm in front, and all I hear behind me is this giant hiss. Brian has stumbled upon a nest of geese. A mother goose that's just chasing Brian down the shore. Just huge goose. So what we didn't realize is that Brian is now terrified of geese and will be forevermore.
It was downright terrifying.
But yeah, and I was laughing. It was hilarious. So now we teach Brian about geese.
I liked how the program tied everything back to God, and how even in subjects such as math, that in order to have math you need God, and those types of things really affect me. Now I can see myself doing much larger scales of work that I never could have done before because I didn't have the motivation to do that.
It was really hard to begin with. We had a lot of struggles just with friendships and different things, but through persevering and just being faithful in all the little things with studying and being faithful in those friendships, it has really changed just the way I view people and the way I view life.
The classic free will versus predestination argument that everyone in our class fights over.
Since coming to Rivendell, it's definitely changed. I wasn't really a great thinker. I wasn't really able to think for myself before coming, but with the whole critical thinking method, everything that comes in is analyzed.
You can all help each other, and just ultimately you want to point each other to Christ.
Italy. Absolutely amazing. I was super excited about it because I'd never been out of the country, and I've dreamed of going to Italy since I was a little kid.
I literally just stood in front of that painting. A bunch of tours went by and they were talking about it, and some of the people in the other tour groups were looking at me funny, but I was just like, I'm standing in front of my favorite painting in the entire world.
The Italy trip was amazing. I hope I can go again someday.
It was awesome. We went to Italy. Who doesn't love that?
I thought it's going to be hard going to Italy because I'm going overseas for an entire month. This is going to be a challenge to deal with this anxiety. I just prayed that it would go well, and boy, sure I was a little scared, but it was an amazing experience that I could go up and enjoy the beauty of the landscape of Florence and actually not leave as soon as I got up there. It was amazing, just the lack of anxiety and how just the Italy trip in general.
Bobby Norman said that we could change the world, and I believed him.